So number 8.
Number 8 is A Quiet Place.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the opening film of South by Southwest this year, and I didn't actually get to go because our flights flew in a little bit too late, but I was so bummed that I missed it. So mad. And then it got such critical acclaim. I saw it in the movie theater, and it was just the first movie I've ever been to where you felt like if you made a noise, you were gonna die.
Yeah.
So it was, I don't know, it just captured the zeitgeist.
It's one of the reasons why I loved it, because the auditorium were silent.
And if you don't know why, there fills in a whole video about why he's silent in the movie
Drives me
theater.
crazy.
Click the link right there.
I actually hate people when I go to the cinema. It's the same with gigs as well. It just raises my stress levels. I get so anxious. And also I get anxious even when people aren't making a noise, because I'm expecting it to happen.
Yeah.
So A Quiet Place really, I take my hat off to them for producing a movie that compelled people to watch it without making a noise.
I mean, I never paid too much attention to John Krasinski before, and we've seen Emily Blunt in a million things, and she's kind of a very mediocre sort of genre actress for me. I don't love her, don't hate her. She's just kind of like in the middle for me.
She was terrific in this.
She was so good in this, and the whole family was just amazing. And yeah, the special effects weren't very cheesy. It felt very realistic.
Obviously, John Krasinski is
Mary.
her husband, the director and the star of the movie. For me, that is overwhelming. It's like, can you imagine working with someone you are married to?
That's throwing your whole life into your work,
isn't it? I really, I think it's quite a commendable thing. I think it's quite impressive.
Yeah, and then the film did so well, and then that kind of spills out into my professional life too, because I work for Viacom and Paramount, and that was like the talk of the company for like months, is like how well that movie did. It's helped reinvigorate the studio for us. So it was just like, I felt the effects of it, and it felt nice to be like, oh yeah,
Yeah, and good to see a horror film getting becoming a really big box office hit too, because there were a few horror films that we saw this year, I'm not going to mention any others, honestly I'm not, that have taken the money at the box office, and I'm really pleased to see that.
But I'm really hoping that A Quiet Place gets a bit of an Oscar nod too, because Get Out got some last year, so I
think it deserves to.
Yeah, definitely.
Despite the fact that it's a horror, because that's the thing, because horror I think is it really suffers at the hands of award ceremonies, because people automatically think because it's horror, it's to a certain extent it's the same with other genres too, but I think horror does get a bad name for that reason, because not everybody's into it. Yeah,
but when people who don't even like horror are talking about how good a horror movie is, then you kind of captured something.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. So number 8 for me is The Shape of Water, and I'm guessing you probably have put it in higher.
No, not in my list at all.
Oh, it's not in your top 10 at
No,
all?
I kind of avoided all of the Oscar movies from last year, because they were probably released, I don't know, November, December, so I was I'm like, anything after January.
Okay, well,
we should have defined our rules a little bit, but it's totally cool.
I'm quite surprised that it is, I'm not going to say it's low in the list, because it's still worthy of obviously top 10, but
because see, if we were going to do that, then like Call Me by Your Name would be at my number 1.
Right.
So, but it's not.
That was last year. Oh, but it was released last year. Call Me by Your Name. Shape of Water was released this year, though.
Was it?
It was released in, was it February? It came out, because we saw it before it was released. We saw it at the London Film Festival last year, and obviously that was, October?
Yeah. And
then I think it was released in January.
Was it?
Just.
Okay.
It's just inside.
Okay. Well, there's no rules really. I felt like I've talked about it enough.
Yeah.
So.
Well, a lot of people are saying it's their favourite film of the year, which is fine, and I think it deserves that. For me, it wasn't my favourite, obviously, because it's great, but I think Sally Hawkins has always been a favourite actor of mine, and I think she's been in so many movies that I've loved. When she worked with Mike Leigh, and she was in Happy Go Lucky. I mean, that was the first film that I actually saw her in, and I started watching all the films deliberately because I love her performances.
It must be a good movie, won Best Picture. So.
Yeah, and it does look beautiful. I mean, Guillermo del Toro, I'm a big fan of his as a you, and I just think his films have that stamp of him on there, and they feel very unique and feel very distinctive. And it's all about, it's about the greens and the browns, and it's got that very polished look, hasn't it?
Yeah.
To Shape of Water, I thought it was captivating. It was more fun, I think, than previous films that he's done. I think it was more of a blockbuster movie.
Yeah. See, although I really like Shape of Water, I'm very happy watching it once, and having that experience and putting it away. I don't feel like it made an impact on.
I know that we've seen similar things before. I mean, we've seen, obviously The Creature from the Black Lagoon and Splash, and I think it owes a bit to those films. But I think that's more of a tribute on his part. I think those were films that he's probably enjoyed, especially Creature from the Black Lagoon, those whole, 40s, 50s movies.
Yeah.
The original classic horrors. I think he's obviously grown up with films like those. I think it has his passion all over it.